Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hand of Fate 2. So, we were able to do another mission in the last episode and succeed with at least a silver. So we should give the tower a second try because that didn't unlock anything. This is going to be more of a learning run, I think, more than anything. We want to see what a lot of these new cards that we've unlocked actually do, to get an idea if they could be helpful, even though there's a decent chance that they won't be helpful. There's probably one specific mission, or Enlist. Enlist probably is your smarter move. But without Enlist mode, there's probably one of these 21 challenges that would let you have a lot more cards to draw from. And that would be likely the challenge you should play over and over again.
Traps
although maybe that's
not
not
a factor of the game.
not
Yet here
as big
they
of a
are
deal.
Transformed into an end of themselves. Here they become the entirety of our examination.
It actually might be the exact opposite, that playing the very first mission may give you the smallest number of items to pick from, which would increase your odds of seeing the cards you actually want to see. And just playing the first mission over and over and over again might be the easiest way to cheese. Let's see. So we need food. We will get the harvest card now. I think the harvest card doesn't show up until the next level.
Too many do not think of what lays ahead of them. After an eternity in a timeless void, I do not have this luxury.
The stars shine bright on this cold, frosty night when you happen upon a balding man looking to the heavens through a spyglass. He rubs his hands together to keep warm. When he sees you approach, he stares over his spectacles and says, "If you have something to keep my ears warm, I will reveal to you your future." So if we had headgear, we could potentially get reward. So we know that's a headgear card, and there's a couple of headgear cards. I guess the frostbitten ears will be worth it just to absorb such beauty.
Gasping with each step, hoping to survive. Find food if you can.
Alright, so let's attempt to pet the silver deer. Wow, I almost messed that up. And then I did mess it up.
I cannot say that I'm unhappy the revolution is beginning to sink its teeth into the Empire.
Here we have another new card, Knight's Sword. A gathering of hooded villagers outside the abandoned church piques your curiosity. You decide to follow them into the building. An impassioned man takes the pulpit, raising a fine sword overhead. This blade is used to knight the squires of the Empire. It's a symbol of an old kingdom, a dying one. The sword glimmers enticingly in the afternoon light. You feel strong compulsion to steal it. Wait for the cover of darkness. After meeting, only a few men remain behind the stand guard. You smash the stained glass window and make your way inside. So, offer to help. Duplicate success cards. And then we'll just take our second one if we had taken the first one. As you take the sword from the altar, Empire guards emerge from behind you.
A perfect showpiece, barely usable in combat.
So in this level, the thing I should have done, and hindsight being 20/20 vision, would have been to give all my food to the farmers, get the harvest card, and then you move on to the next level. Exquisite blade, delightfully crafted by master artisans. This weapon is for display more than death. So you have all these nice custom weapons and shields and things, and you barely see them in the game. It seems like you would have been better off simply animating things you would have seen more of, animating the actual encounter cards perhaps. This is interesting because it seems to me like there's a big hole in the center of the map. But I don't know if it's really a hole as much as it is maybe just a glass surface. It doesn't seem like people are getting knocked down. Oh, I am about to die. I'm on 1 health. That is crazy to survive by the skin of your teeth like that. Make your way out of the abandoned church with a stolen sword in hand. The Empire will most certainly be searching for this. The other places the Empire counters on the map. On the other hand, perhaps you'll be greatly rewarded for the sword's return. Okay. Like, the only thing we can really do here is we have no food. So let's see what this card does. Buy 1 food. Keeps me from dying in the next move. Do we have perhaps a exquisite sword to sell? Ignore defense. Seems like that would be useful. Alright, we're gonna break camp. We're gonna go to the next level. And then the thought here, game really wants me to camp for some reason. Equipment for sales refreshed, food for sales refreshed. Okay, so unless this is the harvest card, we're probably dead. You get this first practice one.
Nicely timed.
There's a couple places where you'd probably be safer hitting the button.
Even when things appear impossible, they can be mastered. Keep practicing.
Okay. Down to 1. Will I not starve to death? No, you totally will starve to death.
Try not to make that error again.
So fail fast here. Which one were we doing? We were doing the tower. It kind of jumps you around. Okay. So. I feel like the move here is probably to use this character instead. I don't, and then that means we could do that one. We know that this is not a good card. We know that this is not a good card. And we'll take this to figure out what to do. Again, we're kind of learning here. What is this food skill, really? We don't need that one. Okay, we'll swap that around. And I think what we'll do is do this and that. Maybe that makes some sense. We should probably upgrade this battered helmet. Bash 40 Empire enemies as they block to unlock this token. Oh yeah, that is definitely this scenario. Okay. With 20 gold, we're not gonna get. I'm not gonna get 10 food, just purchasing it. And the layout's completely different, so while I do feel like this first area probably is heavy on the number of bad encounters you can run into, you still probably should just inspect it. Worker's Hammer, these are subtle weapons. There are weapons for delicate and skilled hands, and then there's this.
Oh, the Empire never trained me for this.
That seems like a very good weapon. Although, I still question if you wouldn't have to play a scenario like this multiple times. Okay. So, first thing you do is you figure out what this is. Defeat 50 goblins with this item to unlock a token. We really don't have a mission that would give us a bunch of goblins to fight. Don't have enough fame, I think, to have gotten anything from that. Peasant king sits on a throne of bones and feathers on her downtrodden blah blah blah. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. This is where this guy would have wanted 27 bread, so this is not a good scenario for that one. See if we can get our fame up. So yeah, move to the next level now.
The damage will persist unless you can find a meal to relieve yourself.
So the hope here is just not to starve to death. Food and fame have now been switched. Probably also have camped.
The ceremonies of death are often all that is left to the living, especially in times of war and chaos.
Carriage of the departed. The town of Hull has been hit hard with an outbreak of corruption. The dead are plying in the streets, the Empire captain says, rubbing his tired eyes. I will pay good money for any bodies you gather these days. You're given temporary custody of a horse and cart. Bells of bereavement have been braided into the horse's mane. You lead the carriage to the northern streets of Hull, ringing your bell and calling for the dead. Alright, so it's another card. 16 is a high number to have to hit. And we fail. Mourners help load their departed kin onto the cart. A few sad bodies are left on the street alone. You've collected 7 deceased. You lead the carriage to the south of Hull, calling for the dead. I wonder if there's a specific number here you have to hit, or there's something else that has to happen to get a target, a token. I imagine failing the rolls is not how you get the token. Most of the town look away when they hear the clanking bells approach. You've collected 16 decreased. Having completed your circuit, you return to the Empire Captain for your reward. The captain is grateful for your help, a gold coin for each body. I think that's fair. You gain 16 gold. Let's go ahead and camp and just see what we have. Well, almost certainly this is the wrong card to have in our inventory. Let's buy some food. And then we don't need to cook food.
The usurper managed this with hardly a kind word to a passer-by. You seem to accumulate followers with every step.
Hired hand. While passing through the smoggy streets of Iron Peak, a disheveled vagrant bumps into you with a jolt. Please, they're after me, he cries, pointing over his shoulder. Please help me. He opens his rucksack and jostles within. Take whichever you want, just stop them chasing me. Alright. Well, I love Colwyn's sword, but I don't think that's going to help us any. So let's take a platinum good fortune of 40 gold. The young man looks at the gold and back at you. You look like a sneaky sword. He snatches it back. Let me just hold on until the job is done. He cowers in the alley and points wildly at the street behind you. Assist the vagrant. You confront the vagrant's pursuers. Why is one of those failure? You're surrounded by a shambling horde of undead. Yeah. I wonder if I had taken a non-platinum card, would I have ended up fighting less enemies. Well, the problem with the skeletons is that they regenerate. It wasn't too bad, though. With your enemy subdued, you return to the vagabond. You find him cowering behind a barrel, crunching an apple. That was too easy. You tricked me. He looks at the gold, then back at you. He scowls and tosses it to you. Here, I guess you earned this. So, would we want to discard that for 2 food? Absolutely not. And maybe this will teach us that if getting a platinum card is the requirement for some of these cards, as you stash your payment demand scurries down the street, you continue on your way, you gain 4 fame. And so this feels like this may be the 2nd or 3rd time we've ever gotten 5 shard pieces, which may very well just be an indicator of...
If wishes were truly granted, we would not be here, you and I.
Let's see. You find an ornate wishing well in the center of town. Shiny coins gleam below the surface of the water. There's a sign nearby warns, be careful what you wish for. So now we know what wishing well will do. Let's throw some coins in the well. Let's go with 25 coins, just a massive amount. Got lucky there.
Breathe, you have done well.
The gods are extremely pleased with your offering. You lose 25. We get a second wind. In combat, boost life to 75 when life drops below 25. We also get a bonus reroll and dice gamblets. So 2 blessings. It's a pretty good outcome. Now what's going to be crazy here is if we don't find the harvest. And that sweeps you and Australia up in the tangle of elbows and awkward knee angles. A trap. A man is in embarrassing green tights strolls towards you. Oh there, moneybags. He twists his mustache debonairly and trips over his own feet. You wouldn't mind if I shared your wealth with the less fortunate, would you? Okay. I have no idea what I'm even targeting here. With his sword that you throw at you, are forced to pass coins through the net. This takes a while, as he insists you do it one-handed while he nervously eyes your weapon. 15 gold's not really a big loss. He moves to release you from the net, but stops, chiding himself. He uncomfortably bids you farewell, leaving you alone to disentangle yourself. So where is that harvest card encounter? I kind of know it isn't. It wasn't in the previous level. So it feels like it could just be anywhere. Might be in the 3rd level, might be in the 4th level, might never show up at all. There are definitely some scenarios where having a double blessing would be absolutely what you'd want. giant ogre was not what I was expecting on fighting, but honestly, that wasn't really as big of a challenge as I thought it would have been. Do we want to discard max life for ring of food? I think we will. We definitely will discard that for food. And we'll gain food. See if we can afford anything. Nope. We need 20 food to get in, so we have to explore the next lands. So I almost wonder if just getting in the tower is your success. Yeah. There you go. Finally, the harvest. You find yourself at Eindorf Fields once again. The farmer's homestead lies ahead. The farmer's family greets you as you approach the house. We want huge success. And that didn't shuffle that much, so unless this game absolutely cheats, I am 100% certain this is a huge success. Thank you. Thanks to you, you were able to comfortably make it through the winter, the farmer says with a smile. The harvest has been good this year, so please take this small token of our appreciation. 7 food. Plus 5 food. Plus 5 food. You thank the family for their generosity and continue on your journey. And that is the last time I ever have to play that card. Also, we have no reason
move when power
to
is placed upon them.
try to
Can
do
you
any of
hold
the
that
other
power
encounters.
back, or will it fall with you?
Raider prevention. A peasant approaches you and says, "Great warrior, our village has become a regular target for northern raiders. They've set up camp near our village. There's no need to kill them all. If you incite enough fear, they will leave us alone. We have little to offer, but I'm sure we can find something to give you for your troubles." Sure, you sneak up to the raiders' camp and launch an attack. Doesn't seem like you're really given a choice. So, either you're going to get the shard no matter what, or there's just something special we have to do.
Protecting the people is
It
what
seems
I
like
do.
it's a defeat time situation. One more hit, and then a power hit. So we did kill them all in time. That probably would give us a shard. It would be very weird to get the shard for not killing them all. You tell the peasants the cowardly northern raiders will not bother them any longer. The villagers offer you a generous reward for ridding them of the 10 raiders. You gain 8 fame. And we have now another blessing. First hit in combat against Empire deals 50 bonus damage, which is a lot of damage, I think. Although I really have no idea how much it really is. We will take 25 gold. And we will take that life. And we got that shard. Also. Last time we submitted to a trial by fire. This time we're going to attempt to escape.
Patience.
Okay.
Do not move too quickly, for haste
This is
breeds
fast.
only failure.
I got it. Now we have a massive amount of food. So we can enter the tower. You arrive at the first landing in the first door. True to Howard's word, the wooden door lacks even a handle, and your attempts to kick it open are futile. There's a stone gargoyle beside it, its hand outstretched, its mouth a gaping grin. Appease the gargoyle's loose 20 food. You hear the ancient gears in the walls click to life, and the handleless doors swing open. You enter, but as Australia goes to follow you, the gargoyle's eyes flare red, and the stone door slams shut. So maybe we needed 40 food, or maybe it wouldn't have mattered. No amount of pushing manages the budget. The only way is up. You venture up the stairs, preparing yourself for whatever is in store. And I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of this isn't just straight up one of these. That's exactly what I thought this might be. Didn't really have a lot of time there. Couple of food may not have been really worth the danger. And I took some extra damage there that I probably didn't need to take. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's just going to be another level. Relieved you passed through the trap's level exit. There stood stone lever by the exit glowing with silver light. You take the risk and pull it. You gain 2 food. The wreath of silver light passes through you. You feel a strange sensation in your kneecaps, and you watch your coins disintegrate, only to be replaced by other coins. Bizarrely, you sense that your notoriety has changed. You wonder whether there's a pattern to this silver light's magic. Your gold and fame have been switched. Pulling the lever appears to have deactivated the traps. It is now safe for your journey up to this point.
Who is it who dwells atop this tower? And
Spiral
why
stairs.
do they strive so to keep you out?
Stairs spiral up into the darkness. As you ascend the stairs, you pass a dimly lit landing, empty save for a primitively hewn stone bear sat in the center. Ignore the bear and continue up the tunnel. Let's approach the statue. Close up, the statue's eyes are bored so deep into the stone that they resemble dark, endless pits. There's an inscription etched upon its snout. I laughed and she cursed me. I walked for an age to see her weeping. I felt fury as she kissed her lover. Grant me the face of my last hour. I laughed and she cursed me. I walked for an age to see her weeping. I felt fury as she kissed her lover. I think the answer here is to make a happy face. At first nothing happens and you feel quite foolish. Then golden liquid begins leaking from the statue's eyes. As it drips onto the floor, it hardens into solid gold tears. Okay, we'll take the gold, I guess. Let's see, we can't camp. After a time, the gold tears abate. Your grinning and smiling is not rewarded with additional gold. Find nothing else of interest on this landing. You journey upward into the tower and arrive at another handleless door. The distant sound of blades heralding more traps beyond the threshold. Beside it is another stone gargoyle. Remembering your promise, you head back down to the tower to report back to the Captain Hardwick. You report to Captain Hardwick about what you'd witnessed within the tower. He notes it down and lets you go on your way. Okay, we have another 20 food at the moment, but that seems to be it. I don't know how we're going to get another 40 food for the next two levels. Captain Hardwick signals you over. Once you reach a safe landing, return to report what you've seen. Make her watch over you, he adds gruffly. You climb to the tower, passing uneasily through deactivated traps until you reach the next gargoyle, impeding your progress. The stone gargoyle's hands outreached.
How easily will you pass the traps put there to stop you?
You hit ancient gears, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. We're gonna have to go back to the regular style of gameplay, though. I think. Do I need even gold? Should I take health? So we're gonna wait till this crosses and just... Well, that didn't work. Maybe you just take it slower. And I could run back and try and get the food, but the camera's so awkward in this, and it's so dangerous that the move really is to just move forward. And we may very well hit the silver light, which it seems like anytime we see silver light and touch it, it replaces one resource with another. So if I could replace gold with food, for instance, I'd be great. And let's see, you pull a stone lever by the exit, the wreath of silver light passes through you. You feel a strange sensation in your kneecaps and watch, stunned, as coins become baked potatoes, your rations turn to silver. Which that's exactly what I needed. So we are just done here. As long as we don't die in the next two traps, I think we've solved this entire scenario. You wonder whether there's a pattern to the silver light's magic. Oh, there probably is. It probably always starts with fame replacing gold, then gold replacing food, and then I imagine food replacing fame, unless they include health.
More traps, more questions.
Suddenly you hear a shriek, little banshee, and a dark shape comes rushing down the stairs towards you. Let's dodge out of the way. You lay flat against the wall and the dark shape rushes past you into the light. You recognize the sigil of the Empire in the split second before its head snaps around to reveal a soldier. Her face is gaunt and pale, her eyes wide. She waits, coiled with tension at the bottom of the stairs. Ask how she got here. She shakes her head violently as if trying to dislodge an unwelcome thought. A voice cracked from disuse rasps. Miriam. Let's nod. Her voice breaks with emotion. Oh, Miriam, I thought I thought I would die here. She clutches your hand and sobs with relief. You quickly note what's further up the stairs, yet another gargoyle guarded door before guiding the weeping soldier gently out of the tower. Captain Hardwork, surprised that the soldier's return to camp is replaced by a mask of pity and fear, as she alternates between mistaking her fellow soldiers for Miriam and weeping uncontrollable. Hardwork stops you before you go. Here, she has no use for it now, and you saved her. He smiles grimly as much as she could have be saved. So now we have a battered helmet. Alright. Once again, we're at 40 food, so we have no reason to do any more encounters. As long as the silver does not turn our food into fame, which it almost certainly is, but even if it does do that, we still would have 20 food. You're in ancient gears as the wall clicks to life, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So maybe there was a whole trick here where you needed to have a decent balance of the different resources. Unfortunately, we have a crash happening here. Full-on crash with a pop-up error admitting it's a crash, whereas the vast majority of Windows 10s and Windows, well, at least Windows 10, I don't know about Windows 11 crashes for games, are just crash to desktops with no error at all type scenarios. So we will launch this again. I question if this isn't a game that in particular is just poorly placed with Unity and should be in the Unreal Engine for the fighting game mechanic aspect, or more likely should not have the fighting game aspect and should instead be more like a regular Unity type mobile game. I have no idea how far back this has set me. And if this crashes again, that's going to be really dangerous. But yeah, I'm still seeing the little stutter. So are these randomly generated encounters, or am I all the way back? On the first floor. I should have just looked. I would have known the answer to that. But yeah, this game's too crashy.
Who is it who dwells atop this tower? And why do they strive so to keep you out?
So we're gonna have to do all this again. Oh no. Didn't have enough food. Oh well. We should look at the equipment still available to us.
How easily will you pass the traps put there to stop you?
So, the first time we did it, I picked up 2 food, and that was exactly as many as I needed. Yeah, this seems kind of procedural. That is really deadly. Wow. That was lucky. So yeah, I'm really concerned here. Sorry, I went silent there. As I'm focusing on not taking extra damage if it can be ignored.
More traps. More questions.
This time we're getting healing spirits, so that's different. If this does crash again, then we're in a really bad position. But I bet it doesn't. And in fairness, a lot of games I play do crash because I leave them paused for hours and hours and hours, and they have memory leaks in them that... So are you supposed to just zigzag through this, or... I think the move is probably to just move forward like that. It seems like there's no reward over there, no reward over there. So we'll have to run this way. Whoops. And there's just no reward at all on any of this, which is fine. So it kind of feels like this whole scenario of going up the tower was the idea that first birthed these trap sections, and then the few other event cards we've seen that have had us go through trap sections were probably added after the fact to just train the player on the concept or add more variety to the gameplay. Although inherently, if Hand of Fate 2's big addition is trap sections, and Hand of Fate 1's big addition was the janky fight mechanic that really hasn't been improved that much in the second game, you can very easily imagine that in Hand of Fate 3 there is just going to be some other extra thing added that isn't really going to be that interesting or that polished or that diverse as far as just different types of trap layouts and different types of traps. So the Wreath of Silver this time I think should do fame and food. Okay, and so we are at 20 food.
The end is in
once
sight.
Again.
Or is it?
As you climb, you notice more and more vines breaking through the lower masonry. You reach the next landing and your jaw drops. Somehow growing from the stone is a huge tree. It seems ancient. Craning your neck, you see its branches disappear high into the darkness above. It sways gently despite there being no breeze. Ignore the strange dungeon tree or climb it. Let's climb it. Grab hold of a branch and hoist yourself up. As you navigate the twisting branches, you feel like a child again. Dim light filters peacefully through the leaves. dappling the tower in a warm glow. Hanging from a branch, you spy a pair glowing with a familiar silver light. We don't need that, so we'll just climb back down. You sit on the branch in silence for a moment before climbing back down and continuing your exploration of the tower. You journey higher into the tower. The stairs spiral around and around the massive tree for what seems like an age. Finally, you reach yet another barred door in this gargoyle sentry. You head back down to report to Captain Hardwick. You report to Captain Hardwick about what you have witnessed within the tower. He notes it down and lets you go on your way. So, yeah. I think we just have gold here. Now, there's probably going to be a big fight, and so that would really suck if we did all this and then we lost. You return to the tower and find the Empire camp empty. Cursing, you realize that Captain Hardwick and his soldiers have decided to ascend the tower. If they find the sorceress, they will surely kill her.
Mages have always had to deal with fear. The usurper has organized an inquisition to put an end to us. He has not succeeded yet.
Though no hungry gargoyles bar your way, the traps have been powered up again. You grit your teeth and enter the first trap level once more. You must reach the top of the tower before it's too late. So now we have this like timed mechanic, potentially. So you practiced on 3, and it is straight up a timed mechanic. So we are capable of just skipping through most of this and healing ourselves with the healing spirits if necessary. With no time to waste, you mount the stairs for the next trap level. We don't know what the 4th trap level is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bunch of undead from Captain Hardwick. In this time, we're not going to be wasting any time at all. I think even the slightest hesitation is going to work against you. Nor are you really taking that much damage anyways. And the fact that you can just kind of slowly work your way through these fights, these trap sections, really highlights how they aren't really that challenging. And I don't think they'd be any more challenging outside of the apprentice mode, easy mode, that's enabled. Drawing ragged breaths, you continue toward the 3rd trap level. This is the final one. You ready yourself to run through the door. Just wait until this one cycle happens. And you can take a decent amount of health in that, and that just refills you anyways. Now what would be annoying is we get to a 4th trap room and we're timed and we've never seen it before. Past this door, you go ever upward to the next gargoyle. You find the way clear. The door is ajar. You push past it, but it does not lead to another trap level. A cold breeze buffets you, and you are outside being pulled this way and that by the winds. If you fell, it would be to your death. Stairs loop around the tower, leading upward, surely to the top. You reach the top to see an old robed woman restrained in ropes. Captain Hardwick holding the sword to her throat. There's no pity in his eyes as he looks to you, only wild fear. Back. You have been corrupted by mage filth, unnatural, dangerous filth. His voice rises shrilly as he lifts his sword for the executioner's blow. And we have the General Steel. You leap forward and parry his strike. And then we get into a fight. And then we are done with the tower. Hopefully. I mean, it would be really hard to fail this one. Now this guy is called General Hardwick, and I almost wonder if he is supposed to be based off Chris Hardwick, a small celebrity. The face here doesn't really look enough like Chris Hardwick, though, to make me think that's the idea. General Hardwick, respected by his soldiers, a family man with a fondness for fishing, and now one of you will die. Generals cause damage to the area when they sound their horns. Use the bait to make yourself scarce.
I ask you to reconsider. You will not have another opportunity.
There's General Hardwick dead.
On my mark.
Now remember, this weapon here that we've been using is supposed to bash people of the Empire when they were blocking with their shields multiple times, but I'm not sure I got enough people who are blocking. You begin to untie the old mage. She stares unblinkingly. You are the one who will kill him. Ask who she is. I'm the sorceress atop the tower. She doesn't appear to have anything else to say on the matter. Ask about the Emperor. Emperor, she licks her dry, wrinkled lips. Is that what he calls himself now? The sorceress becomes frustrated at your clear confusion. The game of life and death, girl. He controls it now, and the land weeps for it. The north is burning. Peasants are forced to leave their homes and wander until they starve. Have you not seen the slave ships sent south? They creak, filled to the brim with his own children. He will force the world into submission if he must. She turns to you, voice low. And he wants to kill you. The Reaper. The Hardwick man. Yes, the sorcerer grasps your hands in hers. He wants to slice your head from your shoulders, to flay your skin and burn you alive, but you evade him at every turn. Do you not feel it in the air? The land rebels against his iron grip. The sorceress sweeps her arms high as a deep rumble fills the sky. The high priestess will soon descend the mountain on the great beast as her people's last hope. The mages brew anarchy. The blight grows stronger every day. Soon the very sea will turn red. This will not end unless he is dead. Her head snaps to you, suddenly suspicious. What will you do if you face her? Tell her you intend to win the game of life and death. Ask her what she's talking about. Her ink black eyes scrutinize me. Listen closely. Do not trust the game. Do not trust those who covet the game's power. Heed these words. Before Callus, there was another, and before him another, and another before that. Her dry, wrinkled hands grab you. Swear to me that if it comes to it, her eyes are blacker than night. Smash it. Burn the throne. Split the game down the middle, so none may sit at the table again. Which maybe this is the reason why we never see it. We will possibly never see a Hand of Fate 3, because we may just destroy the game of life and death that we're playing now. Alright, so we got gold there. For reaching the final act of the Sorcerer's Tale, we get the Silver Deer, Fairy Ring, and Mystical Island. We also get the Bounty Hunter's Helm, the Wanderer's Bounty, the Chief's Charm, and the Assassin's Blade. And then for gold, we get the Unimpressed Farmer, the Confused Thief, which I'm not sure why I would want to play that, and the Demon RA, which that seems like an odd addition, and it is a platinum card. Also, for getting 5 pieces of shards, your supplies have been added to. Interesting. So shards sometimes unlock cosmetics, but sometimes they will unlock straight up just fame supply cards, or other kinds of supply cards, obviously other kinds of supply cards too. But this is really killing me because we still are in a very weird position where we need to bring Colborne, it seems, back to life to be able to play the devil, or finish the servant, which I question how, even now, how I would finish the servant. And we can try the star and get silver with the star, but if getting silver with the star doesn't unlock the sun, then it is a situation where I would just have to go through more and more levels. There is perhaps an argument that doing the High Priestess in particular might be really, really important, and that there's a weighted amount of unlocks that require you to get gold in the first 3 or 4 missions. If that isn't the case, then we are just going to be painted into this corner. So, the star, mages are opening gates of the underworld and dark corners. So is the star right after the tower? So this storyline wise should make more sense. Ancient magic, gambits, and fighting the damned. Let's actually just clear and fill our companions. Why do they want an orphan? And then take that out because we want to know more what this does. Take that out because we want to know what this does. There's so many cards here with shards, though. It really does feel like you just have to play for another 10 hours. I mean, like, I know I've unlocked achievements, but it really feels like I've only unlocked like 2 in the past 10 hours. So we'd be fighting mages. So what do I want to play? I really shouldn't be playing anything that doesn't have some kind of token card associated with it. or is it at the very least new? I should probably have a platinum card. It really does feel like there should just be a way easier way to see what these cards do or unlock the cards. So now we can increase our renown by 5 fame. Which that's intriguing. Let's see. Shadows, Northerners, Empire, Charged Bash, and I question whether I should have Fate's Path. So that's once again a deck that is built half to just figure out what cards do and hope that on the first encounter with a new card that we can get a shard or a token from it, and half from the idea of actually hoping that we can succeed. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.